These are the last two constructions in the notes part of lesson 2-1. And we're going to construct a scalene triangle with sides lengths of A, B, and C as shown. It says, be sure that the longest side of your triangle lies on AB, and that point A is one of the triangle's vertices. So we need to put the longest side on line segment AB, but we have to make sure that point A ends up being one of the vertices of the triangle that we are building. So the longest of the three sides that we've been given to use is C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure C. Put the bullseye on C, on the one end point of C, and the slider on the other. And you're going to draw a little arc to show the evidence of measuring. Now, that longest side needs to go on line segment AB, and it needs to have point A as one of the vertices, which means A has to be one of the points on the base of the triangle. So I'm going to use my compass to measure an arc from A that is the length of line segment C. And so then this point will be the end point of the base of the triangle. So now there's this extra stuff here we're not going to care about. You can leave it there, but just so that we can pay attention to what we need to pay attention to here, I'm just going to cross it out for now so that we realize it's not part of the triangle that we're making. And then we have these other two sides that we need to measure to build our triangle. And like we said for the other video, the sides of the triangle need to come up from each of the end points. So I'm going to start with either one. It doesn't matter which one you choose because we eventually need to use both of them. And there were no guidelines about how to position these. So I'm measuring side B, and I'm going to put side B coming up from A, which again is something I'm choosing. It doesn't say I have to do that one. I could just as easily have it come up from the other point, but I'm going to make it come up from point A, and I'm going to draw that arc. Make sure that arc is long enough because side A is a short side. So you want to make sure that this arc is long enough so that way when you draw A, it's going to hit the arc you just drew. And now I'm going to measure A. Measure the end point from one end point to end point of A. Draw the little arc to show the evidence. I've measured A. And now I have to build my triangle. So remember, this is the base of the triangle. I just constructed a side coming from point A on the left. So now I need to construct a side coming from this end point on the right. So I'm going to spin my paper just because it's easier for me to move my compass that way. Put the bullseye on this point. Remember, you already measured A up here, so it's still set on the compass. You draw the little arc. And then once you've done that, you can just connect all of the points together. All right, and so that's this example 4, constructing a scalene triangle using the 3 different lengths. All right, the other problem on here is to make an isosceles triangle with 2 sides equal to A and 1 side equal to B. So they gave us 2 line segments, but they want the triangle to be isosceles, which makes sense because isosceles triangles have 2 congruent sides. So I'm going to build my own isosceles triangle here. Now, most people, I believe, would like to see their isosceles triangles with the 2 congruent sides up and down on the sides here. So that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't have to be. I could do it another way also, and I might do that just to show you. So I'm going to measure B first because I need only one of side B, and so the one side B I want to put on the bottom. Again, it's just because I'm deciding to. It didn't say I had to. It's just the choice I'm making. So I'm measuring B, and then I'm transferring side B to become the base of the triangle that I'm building. So now here are the 2 endpoints of the base of my triangle. Now I need to measure A. Show evidence of measure. Actually, I don't like the way I measured that. It's not exactly hitting through the end of that endpoint, and the accuracy matters. So I'm going to remeasure it to make sure that it's really going right through that point. Much better, because I made that point actually a little bit big. And then I'm going to build the triangle with two sides coming up from the endpoints. And I know that I want both of these to be the length of A, because it said two of them have to be A. So I'm going to measure one of them up there. That one's coming from the left endpoint. And now I want one to come from the right endpoint, which I'm going to turn my paper, one, so that my hands don't get in the way, and two, so you can see it. Connect. And then connect these points together. And you have an isosceles triangle that has one side that's B and two sides that are A.